Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on our preparations for the August meeting SCORI sessions. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for coming on such short notice and at such late time. I hope that you are there with us. My name is Erwin. I'm the current SCORI director, and I'm very happy to be here tonight with two of my great SCORI sessions team members. Fan Qi Meng from IFMSA China and Javier from Honduras, from IFMSA Honduras. Guys, would you like to say hi?
Hello guys, this is Javier from IFMSA Honduras, and I'm really glad to be with you in this webinar. And for real, I can't wait to see you soon in Taiwan.
Hello everyone, I'm Fan Qi Meng from IFMSA China, and I hope this webinar will be helpful to you in some way. Okay, see you soon in Taiwan.
Thank you very much, guys. So now we are going to move on with our presentation, and we are just now 2 weeks away from beginning our amazing August meeting 2019 in Taipei. We are so excited to have you there with us, and we really hope to have an awesome time and learn a lot all together in what seems or what will be an amazing August meeting. So what will we cover today in this webinar? First of all, we want you to meet our August meeting 2019 SCORI sessions team. We are going to overview the general agenda for the GA. Then we're going to talk about our SCORI sessions, especially about our agenda. We're going to go through it day by day, and we're going to talk about small working groups and joint sessions that we will have during this time. Furthermore, we're going to talk about voting rights tasks that you're to complete in order to sign contracts and keep receiving students and sending students all over the world. Also, we will talk about some tips and tricks on how to survive the poster fair and contracts fair. Also, we're going to tell you how to sign contracts in this August meeting. Also, a to-do list before the August meeting, and remember what to bring so we can all have an amazing time together in Taipei. So, meet our great August meeting SCORI sessions team. This team is composed of the SCORI international team, as always, as well as some amazing and motivated people that have applied and have been selected to be a part of this group that will be in charge of preparing, delivering, and following up on the sessions that will be delivered in Taipei. So we start, of course, with myself, Erwin. I'm the SCORI director. We have Javier from IFMSA Honduras. He is the SCORI External Development Assistant. From IFMSA Jordan, we have Natasha Boran, our Regional Assistant for the EMR. We have our Supervising Board members, Matthew Pierre from BEMSA Belgium, Martina Miklavčić from Slomsic Slovenia, sorry. Then Veronica Moreno from AMEF Mexico. And then we have our great sessions team composed of one of our former supervising board members and very well-known SCORian, Christopher Gramsch from BVMD Germany. Then on BVMD Germany also we have Mart Margulan, Nori, currently of BVMD Germany, Dunja Bjelic, current Nori of IFMSA Serbia, Azer Gnaba, Nori of Associamed Tunisia, Fan Qi Meng, Nori of IFMSA China, Kevin Handoko, Nori of Chimsa, Indonesia, and Leticia Campos, Nori of IFMSA Brazil. So this is the group of people that will be working alongside the international team in order to deliver the best possible sessions for you and try to cater your every need and try to solve every problem and issue and answer every question that you have. If you see them, please feel free to come forward to them, ask them any questions you have, or just give them a hug if you feel like it. So moving on to our general agenda, as you can see, we have our 5 working days separated or between our arrival and departure days. The important part for us will be the mornings of days 1 to 5, where we will have our sessions time. But also, there are other times that you should be quite aware of that are the theme event that will be on the afternoons of day 1 and 4, the IFMSA Fringe that is coming back for a second edition, this GA that will be on the night of day 1. Then we have some training sessions that will be given on the afternoon of day 2 that will have many exchange-related topics, so please stay tuned for more information on this. On day 3 in the afternoon, we will have joint sessions that will be parallel to the Rex Crossley Awards right after lunch, and the Global Priority side event that will be also after lunch, but on day 4. With this, we hope that you have a clear idea of what we will be having every day, and that our SCORI sessions will be taking in the mornings of all working days, from 9 until 1 p.m. approximately. For more information on what the SCORI sessions will be like, we will now have Javier giving you a bigger and a more specific overview. Javier?
Yep, thank you. Can you pass the slide, please? Okay, thank you. So as Erwin was saying, we'll go into detail of what are we going to be seeing in these SCORI sessions. You can see that we have specific sessions and divisions for each day. So I'm going to try to break this up for you so you can have a better understanding of them. The first day we begin obviously with an introduction and team building to get to know each other, to see what are the participants that we have who have more experience, who have had more contact with exchanges, with maybe SCORI positions in their NMOs, and basically getting to know each other. Then we continue to a small introduction to SCORI, which is, as you may know, it's making a small intro because we are having advanced and as well as beginner and medium level participants in the session. So we want to talk about our recent achievements in the future for standing committee. And of course, besides to the introduction to SCORI, we're going to have like parallel sessions where we have a NORI report analysis, which if you can recall, the report that you all submitted for the 1st of July, the IT were working on an analysis to bring up you the statistics, the most recent statistics. So we're going to discuss them there, and also discuss about the SCORI strategic plan and the future of SCORI %. Also on the day number 1, we have the candidates presentation. As you may know, there's open space for 3 candidates in this August meeting, so they're going to present whoever postulates as candidates for the supervising board. And the last session of day 1 is an open space discussion as well as sharing is caring. It's basically a space for you to present your NMO achievements, where you can talk about and solve problems with the help of other participants. And it's basically a place where you can share your ideas with others. When we go to day number 2, we're beginning with a small working group time. Basically, this is the time for you to work. You may be able to join one of our very small working groups and contribute towards the development of SCORI. Later on, the presentation, I'm going to be talking to you about all of the small working groups. And we're going to have the SCORI regulation changes proposals, the discussion. There's something important we need to mention here, and it's that this is always a session that usually tends to take a lot of time of the day. So the way we are trying to encourage you to take time efficiently for this session, it's encourage you to do online discussions through emails, through the Google Docs. And it's important to mention that on the description of this video, you can find the summary of all the RCPs submitted. So you can be reading all of them prior to the GA and discussing with other NORIs. So when we go to this session, it can be pretty concise and just go to talk about specific points. And also in this day, we're going to have the exchanges poster fair. Frank is going to talk to you more about this later. And then it's just your lunch and NMO hour. And something important you need to remember is that on this same day, we are going to have training sessions, which you cannot miss, obviously, and you will be able to choose which training session do you want to attend. On day number 3, we begin with parallel sessions. And you will be able to choose to which parallel sessions you want to attend, obviously. And after this, we will have our debate for our SCORI director candidates and for liaison officer of medical education candidates. I would encourage you to bring prepared some questions if you have questions for them, to read their candidatures, to listen to them while they're postulating, so you can have more precise and more specific questions for them, because it's very tight this time of the day for this debate. After this, we are having one of our most awaited moments, and it's our voting for regulation changes proposals, as well as our supervising board election. And parallel to this, we are going to have some graduation trainings from people from pre-GA. I want to mention something here. Remember that only Norris or the specific people that are, let's say, mentioned by their NMOs to go to the votings are the ones that are going to be in the votings and elections per se. The ones that are not voting, you have to go to the graduation trainings, which are going to be parallel. And after the lunch and NMO hour, we're going to have joint sessions with other standing committees. On day number 4, it's something important to mention, that we will begin with preparations for the contracts fair. The preparations are going to be very tight. We're just going to have 30 minutes to prepare for everything, to prepare your stand, prepare all of your visual materials, to prepare your contracts, and then at 9:30, we will begin the contracts fair. It's important to mention that the contracts fair, it's just going to take an approximately 2 hours max. So you need to be very efficient with how you manage your time for the contract signing. And again, I know that Thank You will mention this to you, but we want to remind you that the only moment for signing contracts is during the contract fair, is the legal moment for signing those contracts. So get all of them ready. And something to mention here is that this contracts fair, this day number 4, it's going to be immediately after the night of NFTP, which we know that can make that some of you fall asleep the next day or show up late, but we need you to be responsible and be on time for the contracts fair, because as you can see, our time is very tight here. Then we have a small break, and after the lunch, please be sure to attend the IFMSA Global Priorities events. We will have a lot of them, and you can go to whichever you want. And on day number 5, finally, it's, of course, last but not least, we have the graduation training from our newly graduated fellows in the TNET, in the pre-GA. So it's a place where you will be able to join them and learn more about exchanges, develop yourself, and develop your NMO and your exchanges. So please attend. Then we're going to have a supervising board session. This session is important because it's to get to know the work of the supervising board and become a master of filling out the project forms, and learn more about the differences between research projects and research internships. After that, we're going directly to the outcomes of the August meeting and the speech by the SCORE elect. It's time to present all of the things that we achieved in this GA. And the final session we have, it's basically our closing session. It's really hard not getting emotional, but believe me, all of you will get emotional after these 5 days of getting to know people from around the world and getting yourself motivated and empowered. So we will do our classic checkout, sharing our thoughts and emotions after this August meeting. And to finish up, we will take our SCORE sessions group photo. So as well for the contracts, for the exchanges fair, and for this final day, we really encourage you to take blue shirts, everything blue you can take, for the photo to be more representative of SCORE. Now going to the small working groups that we're going to hold. The first one is the national SCORE events. In this small working group, we will learn how to plan and build SCORE activities in our NMO, whether they are campaigns, camps, courses, and other various events in the local or national level. Please get ready to bring your creativity and experience to have some great outcomes in the small working group. The next one is the feedback from tutors. And the reason why we propose a small working group is because for years we have relied on tutors to sustain our project demanding SCORE. However, we have never thought of a way to obtain information from them, let alone feedback. So with this small working group, we will discuss on how we want to address tutors in order to seek feedback about SCORE exchanges and the students they receive. This is a way of improving our academic quality and to giving stats to our next SCORE generations. The next small working group is a manual on how to recruit new exchange members. And this small working group will act as a big brainstorm gathering where we want to know of ways in which we can recruit new members and exchange officers for our local committees and NMOs. All of these ideas will be worked on and are planned to be turned into a manual to be used as reference in the future. So please don't hesitate to join if you have some experience or simply want to join the discussion and give your ideas in the matter. The next small working groups we have, the first one is SCORI and SCOPI. It's a joint small working group, and it's about the future of joint exchange regulation change proposal discussion. If you remember, and if you were present in Slovenia at the March meeting, we tried to discuss the RCPs in a joint plenary. So we want to know if this is the most effective way to do it. So here we will discuss if there's a better way to discuss the joint RCPs and how. And the next small working group is again with Scopy, and it's how to get exchanges in your NMO spotlight. And in exchanges, there are times when it feels as tough as though we do not have enough support from international, national, and local EBs and other sending committees. So it's probably the time to ask us why and try to understand better and try to figure out solutions and strategies to remedy this situation. And the next small working groups that we are going to have are both with SCOMI. The first one is going to be with medical research and research education. And the second one is going to be about the basic research competency framework. To summarize both of them, SCORI and SCOMI have joined forces to work on medical research and research education, to work on access to research education, which is one of the IFMSA global priorities for this term, and also on this framework. And these big words translate into understanding what are the skills and attitudes to develop in order to get involved in research. And this small working group, especially the basic research competency framework, will try to aim to collect input on the work developed already. So yeah. And the last three small working groups we have, the first one is SCORI, Scopus, Corpus, you can see in your screen, and it's how to make inclusive social programs. The social program, of course, is an important part of IFMSA exchanges, but how do we make sure that we are ensuring the same level of experience for all the students? How to prevent breaking the human rights fund altogether? Inclusive how to help people from all categories to enjoy their exchange experience at the same level. So this is some of the things we're going to be discussing here. The next one is together with SCORA and SCOPI, and it's genders and cultures in each country, how to prepare students for cultural shock. We already had a joint session on this topic and presented the concept of social accountability. And since we all agreed that it is highly important to make sure that our exchanges should be socially accountable, now we need to come up with the specific ideas on how to do it. This one with SCORA is we are aware of how different can the countries in culture be and how they can affect this exchange. So we will discuss the importance of gender roles in culture in each country and find the best ways to prepare the student for the shock and not letting those differences interfere during the exchange. And the last one, which I was describing previously, is the socially accountable exchanges and what we do next. So as I was telling you, it's we are just trying to get to understand and get to implement how to make our exchanges socially accountable. So we are trying to get specific ideas from all of the participants so we can implement in the next term. And last but not least, we're going to have some joint sessions. The first one is together with SCORP, and it's about ethics and human rights-based approach in medical research and innovation. We will be talking about how innovation and research are shaping the world we live in, including the areas of human rights, ethics, and bioethics. So we will discuss and learn how to define and protect human rights in the new era of research and innovation, and try to find ways to implement this in our SCORE exchanges in order to improve and increase our awareness in this area. The next one is about research and public health. And the purpose of having this joint session is because in the world of public health, research acts as a major tool to provide statistics and public health workers with information that can serve as predictors and help in the proper planning of strategies and campaigns to better serve, advise you to all of the attendees. In IFMSA, we are trying to join both of these standing committees' work and forces so that we can implement better research in public health and do more research in this area. And the last one is how to campaign, to build a thematic week. It's basically the 6 standing committees together. And we're going to have an overview about why we do campaigning, how to better prepare campaigns, what we need to keep in mind, which steps to go through, and how to perform them in the best way. So these are going to be the joint sessions you will be able to attend. And last but not least, we're going to talk about the voting rights, and you cannot forget about the voting rights because you need them for obviously voting. If you don't achieve all of the voting rights, you will not be able to apply to any scoring position. You will need to be able to sign contracts during the contract fair. And as mentioned before, you will not be able to vote during the scoring sessions. And all of this is mentioned in our scoring regulations, specifically on 6.2.2. If you don't remember which are the voting rights tasks, we're going to show them on screen right now. The first one, the deadline already finished, which was basically the NORI report, plus the TNET impact assessment and the Explore copyright, plus begin preparations for the Explore page. This deadline was on the 1st of July, and we have 2 deadlines approaching fast. They are due tomorrow. The first one is the 70% of incoming students evaluation forms filled, and the other one is about the Explore pages. Please remember you need to work together with Scopy, and all of your NMO and all incoming active local committees must be updated by tomorrow. And the next tasks you need to achieve are 2. The first one is to update your exchange conditions and to update the NORI personal contact information in the database, including obviously the stamp and the signature. These last 2 tasks, you have until the 20th of July to achieve them, so please do not forget about them.
Okay,
So
thanks,
now,
Javier. Mm.
sorry.
Yeah, okay. So I'm start. Now I'm going to share some tips and tricks for the post fair for you. And first, as noticed in agenda introduced by Javier before, we will have this post fair on day 2 before lunch, and also only 4 people, 2 from Scorpy and 2 from Scory, will be allowed to attend to create a private exchange environment for your communication without any other distraction from many more participants. And also, one thing we need to stress on to you there is that this is a post fair, not an exchange fair. If you have participated in March meeting before, but have no experience on AM, and you should notice that we don't need much promotional materials there, and the main purpose of this poster fair is for your communication about the contracts you are going to sign with your fellow Norris on day 4. As the contract fair on day 4 is very time limited, and you may only have time to sign the true paper and don't have more time to discuss about the details like months or else local committee's specialty, or how many about the bilateral or unilateral contracts you are going to sign in the next season. So please prepare your poster only carefully for this post fair, and you also are recommended to bring your previous poster from previous GAs to use it again to be eco-friendly. And also like let's as the post fair is a very good opportunity to have the last chance to open more opportunity for your animal to sign more contracts, or to start cooperation with the animal you haven't signed contract before. So let's turn to the next page. How to sign contracts. First, obviously should be SCORI active, because you are not directly be active if you are SCOPI active animal, and you need to let your animal president to send a request to the SCORI director. And also, please check the newest contract for, which has been shared in the NORI folder, also in the AM 2019 sharing folder. And then prepare by yourself in your animal. Check the local committee's capacity with your lorries for incomings, and also contact your fellow lorries early. Now, I guess many of you have received letters about the next season contracts in your lorry email boxes. So this is very clever to talk about, to be the early bird before the AM to sign more good contracts for your students. And also, of course, you need to participate in contract fair, or let your participant to take the place of you, and you should tell everything to him if you can't be there in Taiwan. And the last step is to approach your fellow Nori to start signing at the contract fair. And please remember, we are not allowed to sign contract before the contract fair. Please turn to the next page. Yeah, and some points we need to remember is that we are not allowed to sign contract before the contract fair, as the official start of the next season is from the contract fair on the database. So don't need to do that before the contract fair. And please be mindful about the contract restrictions, which depends on the late CA statistics, and will be shared in form by our director later. And also, we need to remember that we are not allowed to sign more than 40% of bilateral contracts, the unilateral contract. And take care of the number if you have signed too many unilateral contracts. And also, this is the AM, the contract fair is the only opportunity to sign 8-week exchanges with your fellow Nori, because later after this, many of the animal would have less capacity to hold such a long period exchanges. And please turn to the next page. Okay, and there's some tips and tricks for you for the contract fair. Please forgive me to remind you again that you please to arrive early at the contract fair, as this time we will have the contract fair on the morning after NFDP, which time that people usually would a large number of the participants would sleep over it in the previous GAs. Even me have done this once. And so please alarm yourself that never sleep over this very important or the most exciting part of the AM this time. And then please aware that this time the contract fair is very, very time limited. So you need to get well prepared before the contract fair, since we only have 2 hours, and it would be difficult for you if you haven't discussed with the details of the contract you are going to sign with your fellow Norris before the contract fair, as you will have no time to talk about the details there. Everyone is searching for you for the Norris or Neos they want to looking for. So the venue will be like a mess there, and we can't have much detailed communication there. And so please plan your booth. Maybe design. Think about how would you decorate your stands in the contract fair to emphasize your strengths, like academic quality, your educational activities, social programs, and also amazing contact persons, to emphasize the good parts of your exchanges, your animals, and to convince the fellow Naris that choose you is the correct choice. And also, you should aware that we are never a travel agency. You should take academic quality into consideration at all time, to think about why I sign a contract with this country, why I choose them. It's not because of, it's not based on the good scenery or good travel environment, just for the good scholarly exchange program happening there. And so please turn the next page. Some things to do before AM. So please complete your voting right text by each deadline. You should the things you need to know that Scary session is very strict on the voting right text. We would just shut some animals for their voting rights if they didn't finish it on time, because last AM in Canada it did happen. So we are very serious on this. Please finish on time. And then you need to prepare the things you will use in the AM 2019, like hard copy contract forms, and also the poster, and these are the paper materials you need to bring to the Taiwan there. And then just prepare to sign contract if you are Scary active, and submit. We need to. You as Norris, you have already received a letter from Irving that this time we will have three times of online regulation changes proposal meetings discussion there, as we only have the time to vote in the AM. We don't have time to discussion. So this time we put the discussion online before. If you have opinions, you have things you need to address with other Norris, please take care. Please find that email, and also you will find it in the survival kit. To check it and participate to share your opinions with other NORIS and also the session teams. And also today is the last day for your apply for to be the supervising board next in the next season. So chase the opportunity. And then next page, you will be shared. You have been shared with the survival kit today. Please read it before, and the things we talk about there will have all be included in the survival kit, and also read the score reports and to be prepared to give input and ask questions during sessions to make the time of the sessions, not to receive new things, just to make the time of the session to discuss and to more included during the sessions. And make sure that again, make sure all voting rights texts are completed. And also, you should finalize your contract agreements to prepare hard copies for the contracts and invitation letters. So, yeah, the next the things I have talked before, that this time we will have our SCORI regulation changes proposal discussions online, and we will have open calls throughout July. You will find the exact date on the mail, and I have to, yes. Yes, we only have 2 hours to vote during AM. So please participate them on 17th, 20th, and 24th. And the things you need to remember to bring is, of course, the NORI stamp, and also the hard copy, and the survival kit, and all documents we have sent you, and in electric forms is okay. And also the posters and the materials for the poster for the poster fair, and maybe some promotional materials for the contract fair, or some small gift for your fellow NORIS. And also you are welcome to bring your SCORI t-shirt if you have one, or anything in dark blue, to have beautiful final photos in our session. And this is very important. You are very recommended to bring your traditional hat or mascot or uniforms, or so anything that could make you stand out as the NORI of your country, of your animal, because it will be easier for others to find you in the contract fair, and to save more time to sign the contract, as we only have 2 hours, and there will be around 400 people in the contract fair, and you need to find fellow NORIS. It's very hard if you just wear normal dress and no anything special to in respect your country. So bring the traditional and the colorful things. This is very recommended there. And yeah, my session is done. So do you have any questions?
So thank you very much, Mikey and Javier. We will now open a space for some questions. We'll give 30 seconds to see if anyone that's there is going to ask any questions. In the meantime, I just want to stress the importance of following these directions in order to know what to expect for our sessions. Also, remember that some important links will be available in the description of this video below, such as the survival kit and the summary of the RCP or the regulation changes proposals for SCORI, so that you can begin discussing and you can begin working on them to prepare yourself accordingly for the sessions. Since I see no questions or no people writing, we are going to end this webinar right now. So I want to thank you very much for attending, and I hope that this webinar has been helpful for you in your preparations for the August meeting. We are very excited and looking forward to see you in Taipei, and really, really excited to see both of you too, Frankie and Javier. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, people.
Thank you very much, guys. Goodbye.